everyone. Welcome to episode number 55 of Random Parked. How aged have we just made ourselves by making this reference?
God.
This show is about car ads for sale or otherwise on the internet that we find interesting or we just want them. It's also occasionally about buying cars or ranting about buying cars. But I'm pretty sure today is the first time in like months that won't be the case. I don't think I have a single rant queued, in fact. Do you?
Not specific, no.
No?
He's just kind of some floating out there.
Yeah, he's like, maybe I could come up with something. I mean, really, it's Kurt's turn for a rant.
I got no rants.
Got no rants. Well, we are your
I
hosts.
got nothing.
Cone Dodger, Kurt J. Mac, and Zeke. Hey. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you? Yep.
I'm fine.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm more sure that ZK's not okay. We've had a week. This is an episode that is coming out late. We are a week late to this episode because of Garage Week Extravaganza 2021, where we turned ZK into a Ford parts number and did some pretty impressive work to the ramp truck because ZK and company came to visit, as well as we somehow entangled a New Zealander into this. And yeah, we just did a ton of work to the ramp truck, finally completing the brake upgrade that we've been trying to do for, I don't know, 6 months, if not more. It's been
Probably close to a year of like initial, hey, this looks whatever, and then 6 months ago, so we're like, hey, I bought this thing that wound up never showing up. Oh, there's a good rant.
We're scraping the barrel for rants now. I mean, yeah, basically I bought a kit that was listed as available, but like it was like one available, and then it just never showed up. So yeah, that is a rant. Like the fact that people or companies think it's acceptable to list things for sale as in stock, not actually have the parts, and then never actually inform you that they don't have the parts until you inquire after the ship date, hey, where's my stuff? And then they go, oh yeah, we don't have that stuff. That's not cool. But let's not get dragged down in that. Yes, the brake stuff is done. I'm going to try and make a video recapping everything we did there because honestly, if we go over it now, this is going to be a 4-hour episode of Random Park.
Yes, because that was 40-something hours of stream time, plus all the parts runs or whatever.
It was a lot. It was a lot. But to wrap up the previous episode, Sonic is here. Or Sonic 2? Sonic 2 is here.
It exists.
It actually exists. It's actually in the driveway. It's actually not in the driveway. Paint's already stole it and drove to New York.
Never to be seen again.
Yep, that was it. That was all the time that I will see that car. But no, it went fairly well. The end of the whole shebang, they threw in just a few more little kicks to the teeth in that when they finally got the car, they like sent me a message in the morning, hey, the car is here. And I messaged back, great, when can I get an appointment? And then like 3 hours later, just never got a reply. So instead of doing anything, I just drove there. I just drove to where I knew the car was, and I was like, hi, my car is here, I want it. And they went through the whole thing. The only hang up was, of course, they put the things in wrong and they had listed it as like a black car instead of a blue car. So they were about to put a title to the wrong car, essentially. So I had to go through the entire financing thing again. Yay.
Like the fourth time?
I lost count.
So wait, is this a specific car from the story?
Yes, this is Sonic 2. This is not the first one. This is the second one. So I ended
Oh.
up paying. I ended up paying more, and I ended up getting one that was way less miles, but I paid a lot less for transfer because it was closer.
Mm.
The same person that I was dealing with all along, that's in like whatever this CarMax online dealership is, don't ever deal with it. Don't, just stay away. But the in-person dealership was really cool, very swift to, like, you know, get you in and out. They don't do a lot of crazy upselling or anything like that. It's just, they do a lot of cheesy, like, congratulations, like this is the greatest day of your life, even though it's actually, like, you know, just a huge financial burden.
They're congratulating themselves for the big commission they're about to get.
I guess so, because they put a big bow on the car and they're like, we got to take a picture. But then they take the bow. So it's clearly for them. It's not for you. Yeah, I mean, my favorite part of it was I'm literally like signing final paperwork and the original salesperson texted me of like, hey, when can I set up an appointment? So I'm really hoping that person missed out on their commission on it. If nothing else, that pleases me. But we like it. It's good.
Yeah. The lesson to be learned from both of your stories is don't have specific things in mind.
Desires? Yeah.
Yeah, don't have specific, like a specific thing you want to buy.
That's kind of it. Like, the current car buying structure is you only are allowed to get a car. You're not allowed to get the car. And that's super annoying. But it's done. Car's good. I like it. It's everything a cheap econobox that's mildly sporty I hoped it would be. And it cools my butt.
Oh, that feature's so nice.
Speaking of cooling butts, Ranwin Park. It's late.
That's a stretch.
We're already a week late. It's late in the day. It's gonna be one of those kind of episodes. Let's look at some ads, and I've got a Ranwin Parked dual ad special. Let me start with this one. Yes. Yeah. Yes. What, do you want more information?
No.
1994 Pontiac two-door, been sitting for 2 years. $600. Yes. Are
No.
those not the most amazing Ram Air scoops that don't even have holes in the front you've ever seen?
You're supposed to cut them out yourself.
They didn't. I don't think it needed it. This is your other picture.
Is that Romex on the windshield?
This is another picture. Suede purple inserts, red painted dashboard, blue accents. You know what's really
Leaves?
surprising about this? It's a 3-pedal car. Who knew they were selling manual Grand Ams? I think this is a Grand Am. Oh, is that bagged?
I think so.
See, that would have been great to put in the ad, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, the interior looks kind of like it's trying to be sex spec'd. Like, look at the
Right.
rear.
Oh, yeah.
It's all like that
Fiberglass.
plastic body colored.
I would thought for a moment this was meant to be like a roll cage, but I think it's just the trim falling down.
Yeah, I think it's the window, the door seal.
Double tweeters.
Someone really wanted to be sex spec, but all they had was grandma's car.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
comes
how
with
a lot
the,
of those were?
Yeah,
Tow lights.
that's fair. Yeah, the tow lights. Somebody wanted this apparently. Yes. Anyway, that was just funny. That's just a funny Ranwin Park. This is just a sad Ranwin Parked. Remember when every 240 looked like this, ZK? ZK left. ZK has left
Yep.
the room.
He died.
Not
They,
not nice to do to 240.
like the additional side marker on the furthest out point of that front lip thing.
I never even noticed that, Kurt, but I think that's the factory one that's supposed to be here.
I think so,
Mhm.
yeah.
And it's migrated down to here. God, it's bad. It does
safety.
not run. I'm not parting it out, so don't ask. No title, $2,500. The sad state, oh God, of 240s in the year 2021.
That this is worth $2,500.
But it's got freaking uncracked dash in it. How is this one?
Honestly, it's like, sure, it's got a crappy kit on it, but like, it depends on how disassembled. Oh,
I really enjoy that people throw this intake manifold on these engines too. As if, like, I don't think people understand what the purpose of that is. At what point does, like, changing the intake manifold on a naturally aspirated car really do anything?
mm-hmm.
Like, you've got to be making serious power for that to do anything.
Actually, I could use that intake manifold. Could you?
All right,
could
well.
you just name that for me?
I don't know that I want to get that close to the thing.
And he's not willing to part it out, so don't ask.
Right, don't ask.
Well, he's got. Is that another one, or is that the stock
That's
one?
the stock one,
Oh, the stock single.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just a sad state of affairs here. I mean,
No headlight surrounds.
oh, what kind of fool wouldn't have those? If you're out there and you have a pair of headlight surrounds for an S13, contact me.
Might have a spare set.
You keep saying that, but then that's as far as it goes. Sad state of the 240SX. Let's look at a more sad state kind of thing. Kurt, the car, not
From
Kurt.
from the sad state of Washington, perhaps. Now, there's been a meme going around, my friends, that perhaps we've all been shown more times than we enjoy, of like a rusty patch
Yeah.
on the ground and like 4
I'm-
wheels.
I'm up to at least half a dozen people that have sent that to me.
Correct. Well, here's another option for you. A 72 Buick Riviera. Frame, engine, transmission, and rear end for only $275. OBO. As is, no title. You will need a trailer.
No.
Got some windows and parts. And that they're willing to sell. They need it out of the yard.
So
And
basically,
that's it.
give us $275 to tow this frame out of our yard.
Right, to bring to the metal scrapyard for us.
Right.
Yep.
I mean,
That's a car.
you can tell the body where the body used to be on it too.
That's why it reminded me very much.
I really like the one that I keep getting sent that's like the axles are still there. It's probably the same one you're talking about. Because it's so
And it's
blindingly obvious that it's like a junkyard that they just took a forklift and took the body up, and this thing was so rusted that like the axle stayed behind. Maybe that's only obvious to me, but like I thought people maybe were clever enough to realize that. Cherry bombs.
this one's still got the steering rack and cherry bombs all the way back, and like the tires look okay.
All it needs is a milk crate, and it's good to go.
Drive it on home. I'm sure my dad's going to be like, that's a great frame. I could use that for something. You guys don't
In
know
that
what you're
voice?
talking about. Yeah, that's exactly what my dad sounds like. Random parked.
1980 Ford Courier. Everything is there. I have the title. It started when I had the key, but it won't go into gear.
Those are competing theories.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we going to mention?
Mention what?
All right. Okay. Won't talk about it. That's a picture.
Yeah. This person has very interesting ideas of pictures to post for an ad.
Yeah. Oh, it moved
At some point,
at some point.
before he lost the key, I guess. and
Yeah.
got cigarettes and
We're just seeing this.
There's the key
person's-
right there. The key was in the picture.
Yeah, I found it. We're just seeing this person's like, that's it? That was all the pictures?
yeah, that's the whole ad.
We're
I just wonder if
seriously-
it comes with the pelt.
Pelt? That's a whole
not a
freaking
pelt.
that's a whole freaking animal, my friend.
There's some disassembly required.
I hate this. What? What?
I can only assume that's what happened to the front bumper. But then again, the plate was then put over just into the body.
Texas.
2 owners. Is that one of them?
That's one of them. I feel like one HC Justin at the moment. I don't know what kind of creature that is.
It's I don't know.
It's not a beaver, right?
No, it's not. It's
It's like a real big rat,
Opera.
but more like a guinea pig, but not a guinea pig. It isn't a
Capybara.
possum, but it looks like a possum, but it ain't a possum. It's like a possum and a beaver did some things.
it's I forget what they're called.
All right. Don't ever move to Texas. Got it.
It's a swamp rat.
Is it literally a swamp rat?
I don't know.
Oh. I thought I
not a
liked the Couriers
biologist.
a lot more than this, by the way. But this one I don't like.
This one's real rough.
It's rough and it's ugly. Like, what the hell is going on in this back end? What is this gap here for? I guess they're trying to make it look like the old flared up beds or something. It's real ugly.
The dirt brown doesn't help it.
That doesn't help at all. Lost the key. Started
Is it
when I
a
had the key.
koipu?
A what?
Koipu. A koipu.
I've not heard. Does it have another name?
Coypu. A semi-aquatic rodent. I just searched
It does look like
beaver
as-
with rat tail. Alternately, muskrat.
Okay.
Is that a muskrat?
All right. Listen.
Although the
looks a bit
muskrat
like a-
seems to be found everywhere except Texas. But Copio is.
We are barely qualified to be car people. We are definitely not animal people. All right. Well, we are off to quite a start here.
That's the word I know. Nutria. That might actually be what it is.
Isn't that
Yes,
like a,
nutria. That's the other word for the copiu.
isn't that like a spread you put on toast? Anyway, I make that mistake. Kurt had a beautiful one of these that I really wanted the other day, but I don't know if you used that or not.
No.
No, this is a
Other day.
19.
This must have been the other month.
Well, this is 1977 Toyota Celica GT Sport. It's a GT coupe. This one's $12,000. I would actually make this mistake if I had money. If there's any classic car that I just want to drive, I don't need to modify it. I just want to drive one. Like, I just want it to have to go do some wing-a-dinga shows or whatever. It's definitely a first-gen Celica. This one's like the perfect one on the lamest ad with no information in 3 pictures for a decent penny, but not ridiculous for something that looks like in pretty darn good shape, I would say. And yeah, the interior, other than the stupid advanced auto part steering wheel, like how could you do this? Interior's all there, but this is something that I could actually get behind.
No, I was like, whoa, they did some impressive body work.
So now you need a little tug, don't you?
See, here's the problem. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to get to the point in my life where I have something like this unless I actually retire someday. And by that point, there's not going to be fuel. Like, this is a dead dream. I need to start my retirement stupid ideas now. And I only got like $1,000 budget to do that with these days. So this is dumb. My dad actually sent this to me, and I'm like, I don't know why, but I really need this.
I like the little Ooga horn or whatever that is there.
It's a 1942 Clark Truck Tour 6 tug. A military tug used to tow, or will tow a 737. Weighs 5,000 something.
Yeah.
Chrysler 6-cylinder, spins over, been sitting, gas tank clean. Bring a car trailer, can't help load. Won't take much to get it fired back up. So yeah, this is like a tractor with a Chrysler straight 6 in it.
What did you call it?
A Clark Truck Tour 6?
Truck Tour, isn't that one of the Decepticons?
Yeah, Kurt has it. Truck Tour.
Listen, I had a sheltered childhood. I wasn't allowed to watch Transformers.
I'm assuming there's like giant lead weights in it or something.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I don't know how you get to 5,000 pounds in this thing, but I really wanted to just putt around in the yard. It's so dumb.
It would just get stuck immediately.
Probably, yeah. If it actually weighs 5,000 pounds and it's got tires that small, you're probably not gonna make it very far. But it could tow a 737. I could tow the freaking parts truck.
They did that with a Tundra.
That's never gonna get. That was a space shuttle.
Oh, whatever. Same thing.
Oh, that won't do. I need to tow a 777.
$800. How much more fun could you have for $800?
A lot.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, this doesn't move currently.
Who needs to move? Just sit on there. So this is where I'm at in my life. Admitting that I'll never have a dream car, and admitting that I'll probably just buy some stupid tractor instead. Sad state of affairs.
It's not even a Ford.
Me, well, as you know, with the Datsun, I've not really been seeing anything that tickles my fancy. But the girlfriend has been feeling left out, looking at all these like car shows and things, and she's like, "Well, what if I got like a fun car?" So I'm like, shifting my focus to cars that she would enjoy, but still along the same lines of like not huge old
Right.
50s Cadillacs and stuff that she would actually enjoy. A middle ground per se, and we're looking at a
Have you
Toyota
considered a
Crown
Hyundai
Super Deluxe.
Elantra?
No, no, I have not. I mean, there is apparently a black one out there that you almost got the title for. But for only $6,000, this one's a manual, a 5-speed, straight 6. It's got the, I'm sure somebody else knows.
5MGE? Looking at the
Yeah.
little picture, it's either a 7M or a 5M.
But yeah, right-hand drive. Obviously, this is a Japanese import.
Right. I want to see more. Oh. It's not bad, but it's a little hearsey, huh? Which I guess makes sense for why you picked it.
There are also hearse versions, and before I got a chance to take screenshots of it, there was a hearse one for sale.
Like the little bubble top really does it.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, these are
Dig it. The mirrors are in the wrong spot.
from Japan. That's how they do things over there.
It's really weird seeing a car from 1991 with like chrome front bumpers.
That's kind of how the Crowns were.
Right. Yeah, they were meant to be
Are?
like, well, yeah, they're just meant to. It's like, how can we keep making the same car from the same era in every other era?
Mm-hmm. They're always like 10, 20 years behind in design.
It looks oddly like a Supra in here. I'm surprised by this. Huh. Oh, it's not. This is the 3M? This is a little bit different of an engine. We never got this one over here. But I think it's a single overhead cam. Straight 6, which is very unusual for Toyota. Huh. What a weird thing. It's got the same stupid weird intake that the Supra has on it. How many resonators can we have?
And the giant air cleaner that doesn't need. Why was that a thing? Why were giant air cleaners a thing for a while?
I guess they just thought, more surface area the better.
But
It was maybe just interchangeable between
Right, every
you just have the
model,
same air filter, so every model used the same big drum.
pretty much. I find myself oddly liking it for something that I don't think I've ever seen any other Crown that I've liked. I don't love the front.
Yeah, there's different. Obviously, like you said, there's the different generations where
Yeah.
they like slightly change, but are still like a generation behind as far as the design is concerned.
I also feel like that's
I've seen a
fair
few
price.
at car shows and things. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
think
the
so.
best price I've seen, especially for like a import.
$6,000.
Why don't I like it?
Oh, no wonder I like it. It all makes sense now. I get it.
I there's nothing about it that I could specifically say, yes, that's it.
I want to say it's the front that looks way too Cadillac.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's too much like a Cadillac.
It also looks like a mid-90s Tacoma that got flattened.
Or like a Forerunner or whatever.
Yeah. Huh. Leave it to Kurt to find the thing that makes me go, huh.
Ah,
I think that's a good buy. I think that's a good,
No.
quirky,
Like-
entry-level, weird thing.
Hmm.
yeah,
But
I
you-
personally, I again with the right-hand drive, I don't know if that's the thing I could get used to.
I feel like I could get used to right-hand drive here easier than I could get used to just driving right-hand drive.
Being on the right hand,
Right. Which is an interesting conversation having with Daffy while he's here, because obviously being from New Zealand, he's like, I'm worried because I'm getting very comfortable with left-hand drive and driving on the left. I can imagine that's quite a transition. He did manage to drive, first time driving a manual car, shifting with his right hand, and he didn't money shift it once, so that's impressive. But you get smiles and thumbs up for days.
Days.
And then-
Conversations at the fueling station. Oh, geez, maybe that's not a good idea.
oh boy, that's starting to become a real problem again with the ramp truck. now that people are getting ballsy and like, well, just come up to you, it begins again with the standard question of, is that a ramp truck?
No.
Uh,
It's a rollback.
No, it's a school bus.
what do I say here? Can you see the back? Like, do you have eyes? I closed everything.
Another dimension. Another dimension.
Somebody's gonna break into our Jitsi call now.
Oh, no.
Oh no!
Oh no, not the thing that yells at us every single time. Your connection's insecure.
Where were we? Mistakes? Yeah, ZK.
Yeah.
Speaking of mistakes,
A 1986 Nissan truck, 720.
God, I hate
It's not the 620 or whatever. I think 620 was the previous gen. Or
620
probably
is the
my
Datsun.
favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, but these are still pretty good, and I like this one a lot.
These are usually pretty cheap, and this is not very cheap.
$4,000?
I guess, yeah. I always get my
I
scale
mean-
wrong.
Yeah,
I forget that $4,000 is like cheap now versus.
yeah. And I thought he said the AC worked, which adds like $1,000.
I don't see anything about the AC, and I really doubt it.
Listen, I can dream, right?
You can.
But to me, this thing is mint.
It's not bad. I know
I mean, the color is mint.
a bit. It's like if mint and lime got near each other.
Mhm.
Oh. I don't think those backup camera lines are right.
What, you don't just back up into the sky?
I guess that's what happens if you angle the camera wrong. Don't back up too far to go to space. Yeah.
I do not like the netting like tailgate things, but My experience with these types of trucks is that those are always broken anyway.
Yeah. It's a nice shape. It's just not a nice shape. You know what it needs?
Bags?
Yeah. This is one of those ones that I will say I don't like it unless it's low.
Mm-hmm.
And this one needs more low. You need to get it and fix it, CK.
Yeah, totally. I'm on my way.
It's the front is like
Very
Brett
80s.
adjacent in the front, but it's just not.
Yeah.
There's something about this profile I don't love.
It's you don't like it because it's the extended cab.
That doesn't help it, no. But even the
So it's got a
regular
longer
ones,
wheelbase.
I just don't like the 720s very much.
They're just boxy.
Yeah. It also
Here
has.
are the side view mirrors incredibly tiny. Like it was most apparent from the front view.
I think that's
Pretty sure that's just how they are.
how they are. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like
I'm surprised it even has a passenger side one.
Yeah, they do look rather tiny. But they're no tinier. Like the 620 has mirrors that are literally the size of a silver dollar pancake. Not a silver dollar pancake.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
very different size. I think you can do better than this, CK.
Fine, I'll just keep looking.
And I think I can help you out there. All right, so it is time to move on to mildly interesting question mark. We didn't actually discuss this, but I assume we're doing auction watch. Maybe.
Yes,
Maybe.
I am.
I
I'm doing
am
auction watch.
because Rad For Sale is back. They actually had listings again, including this 1994 Mitsubishi RVR X3, which I've never heard of. It is a.
You ever heard of the river?
I've never heard of a river. Let me see. Yep. So this, I guess it's not a K car because it's bigger, but it's small. Like it's in between. I would say it's an in-betweener, but it also has an Evo style 4G63T in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's all-wheel drive, if I remember correctly. Unfortunately, it is an automatic, but it does have seats that do the coolest thing I've ever seen a seat do in my life. Just like if you go to a car show, you have to just leave it like this, right? That's an instant win.
That also looks fairly uncomfortable if you actually try to sleep in there.
I imagine it is, yeah. I imagine it's not good. I mean, it's again, and it seems like their shtick is not to bring a trailer cars. It seems like their shtick is kind of driver's cars. This one sold for, or bid to, or sold. I don't know. It's hard to say. 4,300, which doesn't seem like a ton of money if you want to do something weird and quirky. This Merc made it to like 2,600, and I just don't know if these are the prices these people are expecting or if they're failing. But this MR2 got $8,000, which is kind of decent money for a regular AW11.
Now, when it says bid
Bid
to,
to.
that means it didn't sell
Does that
or
mean
didn't reach reserve.
really? I wasn't getting that impression from their site. Oh, it does say sold for.
Yes, I'm looking at the comments of your river,
Mm-hmm.
and yes, it did not meet reserve, and now people are very confused. So that means I didn't win? Good. That's what that means.
So you're saying this MR2 did sell for $8,000?
Correct.
All right, Rad's gonna die. Rad's not gonna make it, y'all. I'm changing teams. Rad's not gonna make it. It's cool.
Oh, look at that little third mirror thing.
It's pretty good. Oh yeah, I didn't even see that.
Oh, I just now noticed. Is it 2-door or 4-door?
It's a 2-door.
Okay.
Isn't that? It's just
Yeah.
this vehicle has no purpose. This doesn't need to exist.
This
But
is what you should have got for paint.
Now I'm sad.
It's an automatic.
Now I'm sad.
It's a hatchback. It's cute.
Bring a trailer, Kurt.
bring a trailer. I have an interesting series of vehicles. This one, a 77 Chevrolet Opala. I don't know why I said it like that. Comodoro Coupe.
Has to be said that way.
Yes. This is a Brazilian market Chevy that was somehow brought up here by somebody who's trying to sell it. It just looks like it's like a mini Chevelle.
Yeah.
Almost. And I'd obviously never heard of it.
No. And the rear is like Corvair-esque.
Yes.
I sent this to my dad because I also found it to be very interesting. I wish we got things like this because I feel like if we had gotten things like this, I would have been a lot more interested in General Motors vehicles. I would have been
That's because this is actually an Opel.
Right, it's an Opel.
Yeah.
God,
I'd be interested in Opel.
It's really confusing because it looks so much bigger without context. But it's so cool looking. I like it a lot. It's a manual. It's a straight 6, right?
Yes.
Straight 6. 4.1 liter. I wonder what that is. We'll never know. Nope. It's neat, though. Oh. Not what I expected. It looks like just the regular classic Chevy straight 6. Huh. I was expecting it to be some kind of like overhead cam, Opel engine or something. I dig it though. Wait a minute. There's more.
Previously, yeah, this is the same seller. This was actually the first one that listed, and the first one I saw. And this one got the Rad For Sale treatment in that it was bid to $20,000, $213, but didn't meet reserve.
Oh, did the last one sell?
I'm looking for that now.
Oh, current bid. So this one's the wagon version of that.
A two-door wagon.
Two-door wagon. Again,
Two-door wagon.
Cool looking, but not as cool looking. Not a big fan.
Somehow,
of
yes.
Not a fan of the hatch situation.
I
So
think it's because the taillights poke out.
apparently they want good money for these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the reserve was above 20 grand. Apparently in the comments they did work out some deal with the high bidder and it ended up being sold, but for unknown amounts.
Gotcha. So simple.
Yeah, this one had been kind of done up a bit.
Yeah, a little hot rodded.
Whereas the other one is pretty stock.
Oh yeah, hey, look at that chrome. What is
And
this?
purple
paint?
spray paint?
Yeah, what is that supposed to be?
Just purple accents, I guess.
I guess.
Well, the block is that color purple and
Oh yeah, but it's like they did that on any silver thing. Like they got a little bit of purple paint. Oh, even the
just on the
relays.
seams too.
Yeah.
What? Is this a
Stylistic
Maybe they-
overspray.
Yeah, maybe they had everything out while they were painting the block and just got a little overspray on it.
in very
Very
specific,
specific.
very specific overspray? Huh.
So what is this?
I love him.
Yeah, who is he?
You're the best. Wait. As far as I can tell right now, that's a dynamic dumbass. But dynamic, it looks like a coil.
Looks like a coil, yeah.
Huh. Well, he's just the best. It looks like a Crash Bandicoot character. Interesting.
Don't look too long at his leg.
No.
That's unfortunate. Okay. Weird. Again, confirming my previous thought that the best General Motors cars were Opels. Sorry.
The other one, reserve not met at $18,000.
Yikes. Like, I get that it's rare,
Oh, I think
but it's also nobody's going to know what the hell it is.
I swear this is one of those cars in Brazil that was like made forever. Or like they use that same engine and everything, and there was like a huge aftermarket scene on these. I think that's these. Melissa had mentioned something about these, I think, at some point.
General
It
Motors.
does,
yeah.
It does seem like this person imported these like they imported them in 2020 or something like that. So they
Right.
probably had the idea to put them up on Bring a Trailer, and
Right.
perhaps they got more into it with the importing than what they thought they were going to fetch.
Right.
I think is probably what happened here.
Like, I have to imagine it's less costly to import something from Brazil, but it's still a great distance.
Yeah.
And
there's weird things where sometimes it depends on trade routes, basically.
it also depends on,
Yeah.
like, I think a lot of the Japanese stuff catches on because, there's a lot of 30 to 40-year-olds currently that are begging to have something that's, unique and of their generation. I think the people looking for 70s unique cars want the things of, like, I don't know how to say this nicely. The car show cars of the 60s and 70s are already set. I don't know that old farts are going to want something like this if they have a bunch of money sitting around. They're going to want a Camaro
Right.
or a 55 Chevy or something like that. They're not going to want some Brazilian Chevy. So yeah, it seems like a very niche thing to try to import.
Mm-hmm.
But I like it. I would, especially the coupe one. I would drive that.
I was going to say, like, I think the coupe is better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something's happened to me.
Oh no.
What happened on that drive?
Decided one kid was enough, huh?
Listen, 2,400 miles takes its toll.
Well, ZK, are you looking to sell? Is that what this is?
Well, it is a good-looking wagon. It's a 94 Buick Roadmaster.
Not anymore.
Not just... No, it's really good. So it's a 94, but there are interesting touches made to it. Most people wouldn't notice them offhand, but it's got huge, like 22-inch wheels on it.
Oh, I noticed that.
It's bagged, so it's really low. All the handles are shaved.
Yeah.
It's got a sound system.
Is the front different than
It's-
yours?
It's leaner, meaner, and blue, and it has the sedan front swapped onto it,
Ah.
which does basically bolt on, but it's got the more squared off look to it.
A lot of info. None of it really looks very interesting.
I mean, it's got AC.
Okay. Yeah, I don't like the square front end. That makes it look worse.
It's one of those things. It's like I kind of like the sedans by themselves, but I feel it's too square for the rest of the rounded of the wagon.
Yeah. It upsets the... Okay, from the very front, it's not as bad.
Yeah, from the side it looks a little awkward, but like they are the same chassis and everything, and I think the windshield and everything's the same too.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that where the wagon glass is, it's just a sedan trunk.
You thought the mirrors were small on that truck earlier. Not a very good paint job. This is like...
It looks great at night.
This is like
what he
the
said.
quality of the paint job on Red. Yeah, that's not a reflection.
But it's low.
It is low.
And it's in front of Spooky Chucky?
I
or
hate
something?
everything about the graffiti. I was trying not to look at it.
It's got the full blue interior.
Could have maybe vacuumed it out, but whatever.
And it's got the little
yeah, it's got-
suicide knob on
It's
it.
got buckets instead of a bench in the front.
Yeah.
Which
I think those were
honestly,
an option.
honestly, I would rather have the buckets. I know it doesn't fit the meme of like how many people you can fit in a Roadmaster. But seriously, nobody wants to sit in the front seat of a Roadmaster in the middle. Don't do that to a human being.
And the quarter windows still work.
Yeah, look at
But
that.
I have to fix mine again.
Wait, how do they not work?
They break.
So GM did
like
this
that.
stupid thing of, you see how the glass is curved, right?
Mmm.
And there's 2 flat hinges on there that are basically bonded or superglued to the glass, and over time, because they aren't exactly in axis with each other, they like stress the joint. So after 20 years, they like to just pop off the glass.
What do you
And
mean you
have
can't
you ever tried to
use-
glue anything to glass?
Flat hinges on a curved surface. That's some quality engineering there. How many monies was that?
They wanted 13,000, and no one ever bought it, as far as I can tell. They reposted it later, and it still didn't sell.
I'm not surprised. There's probably somebody out there for it, but
Not for that price.
not for
but
that price.
I really, it was the graffiti that drew me to this ad, and the fact that it was just slammed.
Why? Why? I like how sad and depressed.
I guess that's not Chucky. It's
It's
the clown
spooky.
from the thing. It.
From that
Right?
thing, it.
Okay. All right. Well, I need to not look at that any longer.
Anyways,
The Roadmaster, that is.
Yes.
All right. Auction watch. Auction watch. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do about auction watch because I feel like Rad's on the way. I think honestly that section is just gonna become, hey, so I found this thing.
cars and bids.
That's
is
what
going
mildly interesting
fine
was
and
supposed to
dandy.
be.
Yeah, I think Cars and Bids seems to be the one that I'm surprised is going to stick around. It is time though to look at the best ads, the best finds of the week, which is also kind of the hey, look at this. But first we must look at last episode's results where Kurt had the stubby cab over. ZK had the disrespected aspect ratio, and I had the car now of my dreams, the Bugatti. The winner, I honestly think I got a lot of pity votes for the story, is me with 89 votes for the Bugatti. ZK in second with 56 with the disrespected aspect ratio, and Kurt Stubby only pulling in 39 votes. Hate to see it.
I'm going to need
surprised
the
that-
names of those 39 people.
I'm surprised I got so many votes for something that we did later find out that the images were just stretched and it's just a normal thing.
I wish we had recorded that part because, yeah, quite a few people commented like, hey, so I stretched those images out. That's just a regular car. We did determine
Oh,
that.
but now the dreams and the hopes it gave me to find a Nash or something. And
Yeah. We still do need a Gasser Nash. That needs to happen. Well, we'll see if ZK found one of those for this episode's best ads. But I have found the mini truck that ZK actually needs. It is a 1996 Ford Ranger 5.0 V8. And this is probably my least favorite era of Ranger that somehow they have turned into something that I think is actually pretty darn cool. It has extremely 90s styling, but it also has a really nicely done 5.0 swap with a manual transmission. So this is essentially a Fox body Mustang that is also a Ranger. Like that looks darn near factory. If you told me
the
that was
intake
factory-
hose is a little, but
but I mean, it was also Ford, so who knows what they might have done. The styling, it's very of the era for this kind of
I
mini
think
truck.
I like it.
I think
don't
I
think I
like
like
it.
the giant flare that doesn't meet up with the bumper or the bumpers.
This part, the step
Yeah.
side thing, yeah, I can
Like
take it or
it's
leave
super low.
it. Yeah,
I think I just don't like step sides.
maybe. possibly. Interior is pretty much stock. Like, it's just
No headrest.
as it was. And yeah, it's cleanly done. It's got the names of the people that did it. Like, the paintwork is really nice. Like, someone put a ton of work into that paint job. It's nice. It's worth a pretty penny. They want like 20 grand for this thing. But I also think that it's probably it's kind of like if there was a lightning version of a Ranger, and the idea of that really tickles me. I like that idea.
I like that idea. I wish this looked more like a Lightning.
Right, instead of a
this.
Yeah, instead
Not
of
a weird Roush body kit thing.
exactly.
Or saline? More saline?
Yeah, if you could take that same concept and put it to more of like a sleeper style, like regular Ranger, but lowered and like, I guess you almost pro-streeted it out, it would look cooler.
Also without a 2-inch gap between the grill and the front bumper.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about the wheels, but now I see, that bumper. I mean, it's
it needs to be lower and have wider wheels on it, but I thought that was a given.
it's very of its era. That's what it's. But yeah, I really like the idea. I think that's a cool idea, and a ton of people do that with S10s. But I very, very rarely see people like not drag
Fords
race up a Ford.
That's because Fords are pain in the ass.
Boy, do we have experience in that department. Kurt, what was your best find of the week?
I've got some more JPEGs you can stretch with a 57 Chevy Bel Air custom shorty. Shorty.
Son of a bitch has done it.
For $20,000. You got to go up to Montana. A 1957 custom shorty, all work done 15 years ago. Oh, shut up, Google. I didn't ask you for information about Montana. Still shows, runs great, drives great. 350, 3-speed. Paint is nice. Thanks, Rob. You will not be disappointed.
Thanks, Rob. I need some scale here, because from this angle, it just looks normal.
Right.
Ah.
The photos are a little bit disappointing, I'm going to tell you. We don't truly get it, but you start to get it as you flip through.
I get it, but I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
They just chopped out the back seat.
Oh, so it's like a sedan that's been turned into a two-door, which made the proportions all wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh.
Shortened. And it's, I don't know, I just don't know why.
Yeah, that's a good question. Because it didn't turn it into like a little Corvette or anything. It just turned it into a wrongly proportioned Bel Air.
Yeah, it just looks like a big big wheel.
Right.
You know, a full-size big wheel looking proportioned car. Micro Machines, yeah, like it's the way the Micro Machines were all stubby and chunky.
I thought I was going to be really excited
the profile view.
Yeah, definitely in a profile view. I thought I was going to really be excited about it, but I'm not. It doesn't.
I think it's because like the hood isn't any shorter. Like the proportions there,
right,
and from the fins back, but it's just like missing.
This just looks like a car that was rear-ended and squished together, and then they called it good.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Kurt whips out another stubby.
Wait a minute. I just remembered there's a road named that in cities.
Yes. From his thing last week, too. I think that's where it started.
Yeah.
Or last episode, I
Boy,
guess.
the lore of Kurt Stubby is really starting to pile up.
I don't know what's going on anymore.
ZK.
So, this was more of a mistake I would make, especially if they only went $1,000 for it. It's a Ford Focus race car project.
painted up to look like Dale Jarrett's '88 NASCAR car.
Yep. Race car project started and no money or time to finish. Motor ran strong before starting project. Kept wearing harness, blah, blah, blah. Started the roll cage, blah, blah, blah. Paint to resemble Dale Jarrett's 88.
Sport compact class for dirt track racing. Ooh, they
Looks
got
like
the
a
rules.
lot of fun. Yeah, so they were trying to build it to the rules and then just ran out of money or time or whatever.
The use of diamond plate in this entire build is
Hilarious.
yeah. Maybe if they'd saved money on the diamond plate, they could have finished the build. A lot of work in the cage.
Yeah, it looks...
Ah, damn it, they stole my garage art.
And they did it better. I'm sorry.
It's-
They did punch needle
Is that
work
punch
or-
needle? Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, it's basically a NASCAR 88 carpet on the wall.
Huh.
Where carpets belong.
Okay, it's much smaller. I thought this was
Okay,
a
I
huge
thought
thing.
it was full size too.
Okay, it's much smaller. I'm satisfied. Is that have a carb on it? Is there?
I
Holy!
think so.
Did they just take an axe to some spray paint cans?
I'm pretty sure they just like ripped off the top of it and just chunked it in the car.
Like a grenade. Claire! Oh my god.
Let it spin.
I've never seen a paint job like this before.
They painted the shifter. They
Everything. Oh my god. I'm surprised it's not painted under here. So it
There's
looks like
probably
it's-
overspray.
Oh. Okay. Maybe that's a thing. Like they cut the intake off and put a filter like that
I don't know. You'd have to read the rules.
for dirt track racing. Huh.
It's got one of those cheapest like allowed racing seats. Period.
I say there's a lot of work in the cage, but that is the smallest tubing I've ever seen in a cage ever.
Well, they just used twice as much of it. Also, they painted the pedals and the steering
The
column and all the wiring.
The fact that the shifter boot is painted really, really. Oh god, the paint extended to the back end. They painted the drums. They painted the undercarriage.
safety.
Somebody take the spray can away from them, please.
A lot of paint cans.
Yeah, it's on the tires.
It's like $100 worth of paint on that car.
So what do you think they still needed?
I don't know, because really it looks basically done.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Probably didn't actually run or something.
yeah.
Huh. Or here's another theory. They did all this, they took it to the track, and when they went to tech it, they were like, yeah, none of this is actually built to the rules.
Doesn't look like
And
a picture.
they printed them out the rules, handed them, and told them to go home.
Go
so
home.
they're included with the sale.
I don't think this 1-inch tubing, I don't think that's gonna cut it.
But like I said, they used a lot of it.
I've known quite a few people that teched cars, and usually the words "but I used a lot of it" doesn't clear.
You know what this reminds me of? Like a die-cast car, where like the inside is just
Yeah.
all made with red plastic
Right.
and isn't painted.
Yeah,
But think about this: for $1,000, you could rally cross this
you could.
and be a hoot,
Yeah. Yep.
and you wouldn't feel bad about doing anything to it.
I would probably feel bad about rolling it over. I think it might be less safe inside now than it was before.
I think it'd be very hard to get enough grip with those front tires to roll it over.
Valid point. This does look like it's already done some circle track racing. Huh. Well, there you go. Is it going to be the mini truck wannabe Ford Lightning Ranger? Is it going to be Kurt Stubby again? Or is it going to be the paint can explosion focus dirt track car. The choice is yours. Vote below the video on the straw poll that is no longer looking like a notepad because they still haven't fixed that one. It's really sad. Yeah, we're all disappointed in me.
All of
mostly.
us.
That will do it for our episode today. I hope you enjoyed. We tried. Okay, bye.
Yeah. Bye. ZK died.
Bye.
Whoop.
Sorry.
Oh,
There he is.
all right. We got him back to life. All right, there you go. Couldn't leave you hanging, but we did anyway.